I'm a little late, y'all. Or I'm a little too early. I don't know. Apologies if I am. Cause 12:30, but then YouTube showing me something about 10:30. I don't know if it had me on a different time or what. But peace and blessings to y'all. Y'all already know. Now's the vibrate. In fact, about to go to this little parade back home in the hometown in Opelousas. Matter of fact, speaking of that, been wondering why I've been able to eat gumbo, been able to eat stuff with meat in it, even ate a little meat. Was getting into that, but basically turning lemons into lemonade. Using I kind of use the Ascension, and which I always do my best to like, where if I'm going through some type of Ascension symptom and I could tell, then I use it for my benefit in the essence of like the benefit of the nostalgia of my taste buds, like back home. And my sister, they whipped up this gumbo, and nobody cooked gumbo like people in Louisiana. Like anything outside of the state line is fraudulent. And plus I felt a vibe of like, uh, in which whenever I do eat something outside of something that's considered extremely healthy, uh, I deal with the ancestors in such a way like, hey, not on no body taking over vibe, but like, y'all welcome to like, be present in my body as I'm eating this, and and taste this gumbo, and and help me, how can I say, digest these nutrients, you know, better, and not not get sick or whatever, from being a person that's again, I don't even like to. I eat healthy, I don't eat meat, but lately I've been kind of, checking the situation out again, the alchemy of the mind. Not telling everybody it's one of the things though, but that's me, dealing with it. But blessings, y'all. Chanel, Millie, K. Joe, LaMelo Ball. Because a lot of comments just be full of the oh my bad, I got my ring all in the thing. Because a lot of the comments just be, people trolling and stuff like that, and I ain't got time for that. And whether somebody think I'm being nice or, that's them. I'm not being evil or nothing like that. It's like, some stuff, I done already spoke to, and me being my authentic self and speaking on how I don't really, if it's something you could Google or something that's just like trolling and just taking my time somewhere where it doesn't belong, it's like I'm not gonna deal with it. You know, we all should be like that. If your heart don't feel like, now when I come across a comment, my heart make me feel like you doing something wrong, if you, and I say wrong, but like, you should answer this, like, and while I'm feeling it, like I will answer it, I will, speak to it, or just if I'm passing by it at the right time, you know but blessings. Loke Star, 18 Lucky, Sherry Henry, Waterloo, King Yada, SGFA. But into lock stars, it has a lot to do with the mental. Like when I realize that if I don't look at the ingredients list before I eat something that may be unhealthy, like bro, I wake up like be ready to meditate, and I feel like a small little difference, but honestly, like it's where your mental at. I see it literally, and that's what us programming our subconscious to know that we have that ability. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, like with that gumbo, I was with the vibe of like, bro, it's gonna go down good, everything. You know what I'm saying? But two, again, speaking to the ascension symptoms, like I realized like the ascension symptoms had appetite on like beast mode. like to the point where I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna take advantage of this. They cooking gumbo. I ain't eaten a minute. I back in Louisiana, ain't been here in a minute, you know. And I'm about to, again, I crawled before I walk. I ate a little potato salad. Again, got all kind of shit that's outside of a vegan diet and outside of the Dr. Sebi list and all that. But again, realizing, it's different strokes for different folks, but realizing that we have this capability where our mind, just like with the placebo effect, you could give somebody a sugar pill, and sugar is something unhealthy, but you could give unhealthy. You give a person a sugar pill and they could cure whatever, because a disease is, when I just say I'm broad that they fake, again, from that cyclomancy book where they have evidence of how the syphilis, like where they was observing syphilis and where it was like our body mimicking the virus or the bacteria, but not us actually having something, infected by anything, more so our body mimicking that the blueprint of that bacteria in essence. And it was looking at dementia and with the soldiers and how a soldier would actually literally be blind just off of the strength of his mind kind of closing out his eyesight, like on the high level, you know what I'm saying? So the evidence is there. I still got sending copies of the book Psycho, man, so just hit me up for details. But and that's another thing too. It's just about giving thanks for what you eat too, because I did do that. I'm like, hey, little animals, you know what time it is. I got loves for you. You know, the same thing with fruits and vegetables. You're killing fruits and vegetables before you eat it, and it's even again, that's more of that religious mind frame, like of that hierarchy of like, all right, well, almost like how some people deal with animals, where it's like I could eat fish and stuff because they're more stupid than the other animals. It's like, oh, I could eat vegetables and fruit because they don't holler and scream when I kill it. It's like, you're doing the same shit. That's where you start to see where this new age shit be pushing a lot of, a lot of social engineering bullshit. Blessings, y'all. Bugs Bunny. Mind over matter. Yep. Rise above. What about processed foods? I mean, again, to each his own, and everything in moderation. Follow your intuition. You know when you're crossing that line and when you're not. And you'll see with the effects afterwards. Like say for instance, I ate that gumbo. Which I had another time where I tried some spaghetti, but I guess I just wasn't, in the right mind, or it was more. Matter of fact, I keep it real. I think it was just a lesson of that. That was more of my ego, just trying to like, I don't know, maybe pull me down more into the three. I don't know what it was, and just showing me that lesson of how I fell victim to listening to that instead of it being something more of like a ascension symptom and, being guided by the ancestor. Because again, I've been, you know, smoked my cigar like I kind of did a nice little altar work lately. And usually after a nice little session with the ancestors, I'm able to, you know, maneuver a little better. Do I lucid dream? Not a lot. More so because of like me getting over the unhealthy habit of eating late at night. But which honestly, again, I've had times where when I set the intention strongly, I could still go into a lucid dream, but I have to really, set the intention strongly, have a nice little meditation, and this again on top of just finish snacking on something, you know what I'm saying, to really make it happen. Sometimes your ears may ring when you meditate. Sometimes, when the ears start to ring, and that's almost a sign of like the pineal starting to like open up and become more sensitive to like the higher range frequencies, the high vibrational sounds, you know, or basically like picking up on the shamanic resonance in essence, because matter of fact, the shamanic resonance raising right now and spiking. So that's another reason why we probably eating like some damn, just eating like we got tapeworms or some shit. Because I was wondering, I'm like, bro, is this, but then again, come back today, meditated this morning, had it on my mind. Matter of fact, seeing that, even with smoking a little herb and, you know, eating that food, my mental is still, at a certain capacity, that's not, like extremely affected by the situation. Yeah, I mean, again, and it's not something I'm saying like, oh yeah, now I'm about to start. But I always said this, like, and I felt like that, like being back home on some reverse vibe of like being somewhere where, like, because it's like a tribe, tribal vibe of like, trying this custom food from this area, and this is this tradition where, the family offer you this dish, you shouldn't refuse. And certain customs when you go around the world. And that's how I was like, back home. They're treating it like, that whole vibe. But it's definitely all up to perception, I mean, when you just see how many people, how many of us got different stories to different situations, I mean, it should dawn upon all of us that, of course, we have upon us some type of collective agreement in essence of like, all right, vegetables gonna bring more light into the body in this matrix, that's what we, but for the more so with the director or the guide of this realm or this physical plane, you know what I'm saying, like had written in the script for us, like, and we agreed to when we signed up to come into this movie and play this role. But matter of fact, I even had a little sip, had a little wine and a few brews, like I'm telling, but again, I ain't gonna lie though, I'm always with intention though, like making sure I grab my little, like, all right, high vibrational energies, let me, and which I was keeping it there. I was noticing where I was still having that old school vibe of just kind of, talking a little more in essence, just to a certain extent over talking at times. But again, it was just all in the fun of chilling with family, Let's see. Yeah, the vision, and matter of fact, and just through our auric field in essence, you know what I'm saying? Like the consumption, in essence, not, and it's not necessarily a consumption to a certain extent, because the stone, the crystals, and having our energy field up to par does protect us to an extent. But like when just standing in the other energy fields or being in the energy field where it's just like overwhelmingly, low vibrational in essence, But I'm also the ilk of like, I feel like a Dragon Ball Z character though, where we could kind of just like turn up and and like, cause sometimes that's what I visualize. Like if I feel like I'm in a place that has a lot of, you know, negative vibrations or something of that nature, like I just, envision my, like looking down from like a third person type of view and viewing my Taurus field and my energy field just being like extremely huge, almost taking up the whole state of whatever state I'm in. As far as like state like quote unquote state like Louisiana or California, like wherever I'm at, like seeing it be like big, like, you know. I mean, but that all go into, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't limit your visualizations. You know, that's why, in essence, you gotta watch how much you hang around people who always like who don't believe in stuff like that or who limit themselves. You know, in essence, you know, you don't want to place, you know, you don't want to cap your limitless abilities. But I miss a few questions. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Jazzy Fox, blessing. Oh yeah, yeah. King Yada. You say that with no right or wrong. Yeah, I know what time it is. You may get headaches from Ascension symptoms, pineal gland thriving in most cases. I just it, you know, it's just energies. We getting fluctuated with different energies. You know, in essence too, like the shamanic resonance raising. So that's dealing with our lower chakras. Our lower chakras deal with our digestive system. You know, our emotions. You know, matter of fact, emotions when we not you know, if we depriving ourselves sexually or like or something emotionally going on, you know, we want to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, that's a sign of like looking for sex in food, like you looking for that feeling through your taste buds. You know, like there's a lot of that going on as well. That's where the breathing techniques help to, you know, with that to balance that sexual energy that's not being you know, using the actual act of sex, you know, you could kind of just channel it back through, you know, an emotion, and it'll, you know, come out through some type of creative, you know, platform or something of that nature. Yeah, yes, the tiredness too, Michaela K. Yeah. Cause matter of fact, I also felt that it was almost like I'm also eating this shit to hibernate, like on some shit, like cause that wine. My sister had some pomegranate wine, man. It was tasting good. Had a little sip of that, you know, bruh, and it again, waking up and Tudo again, because I'm also doing this with intention. I'm drinking water as I'm doing it. Matter of fact, I've been drinking water since, look, as soon as my feet touched the ground this morning. Look, I'm drinking water. Matter of fact, just a heads up, I won't be staying too much longer. I want to just you know. Matter of fact, also oh, to bring up right quick, being in the void, you may have a feeling of like, you know, like you're not having any direction, you know, like you're just floating in essence. But what a lot of us may be dealing with is like being in that void, and I seen it like come to me, you know, through my guides, through other videos being posted recently, and I'm like, all right, there must be something to this void situation. But you know, the nervousness and anxiety about being in this little, you know, floating position for one, because society teaches, oh, you better have a goal, or you gotta have this and that, you know, and always gotta be moving, you know. So when we kind of in that little area, you know, it may have a little angst, like a little anxiety or nervousness to it, but that's just more so because it's hard for our little egoic, greedy mind to like deal with something that it can't control every detail of, you know. So it's like, fuck, what we, you know, because say for instance, I'm in two, you kind of like in between timelines, you know, because in the void is the place of pure potential, you know what I'm saying? Like any outcome could happen in that void. That's why some of us may see ourselves like a life in New York, a life in Chicago, a life in England, a life in Australia, a life in Africa. You know, like we seeing all these multiple different timelines, you know, all at once because we kind of, you know, within this void energy field. And again, it's not necessary. It's not anything to you know, be scared of or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's actually opportunity to, you know, really see which way, you know, we want to point. Because also not getting lost in the sauce of like, well, you know, yeah, going with the flow, going with the flow. You know, yeah, it has, again, it does, we do have the vibe, is an integration. You know, we have the vibe of going with the flow, but we also, you know, we electromagnetic beings, you know, masculine, feminine. So you do have a little masculine energy where we're gonna have a certain direction to what we're doing. But again, you know, we may be in this void area, you know, this place of pure potential, you know, in between timelines and dimensions. Cause matter of fact, like I be seeing myself in LA and New Orleans, and I'm like, it's almost like rolling dice, you know what I'm saying? Kind of feel it, you know, but is you know, being in the moment, you know, in each moment, you know, just bring yourself closer to what you really you know, feeling about your future, because you create your future right now, you know. So, but you may be in this little void area again, but don't, you know, don't panic, don't trip out. Kenshin, no, I'm not a vegan. I'm not. I don't. I'm not anything of that. That's all I did. That's social engineering. So instead of like I'm Catholic, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, nah, I'm vegan, I'm paleo, I'm this. It's like it's the same story, different. From jumping from the frying pan to the skillet. I love the boy, the old schools. Know they have some fucking sayings, boy. Ain't read none of them not none of that shit, but just know how to spit the real. But like from the frying pan to the skillet, or from the skillet to the frying pan. In other words, like you still getting fried regardless, but oh, well, I'm going from the frying pan to the skillet because it got a different name. You're thinking you're dealing with something different, but you still in some grease getting fried up. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing, you know. And to each his own. If you like identifying yourself, well, you know, I gotta whatever. That's how you feel. But I know what time it is. That's social engineering 101. I'm so grateful for going through my situation in LA. Because matter of fact, that's social engineering and subconscious programming capital of the world in essence. LA and that area, like that's you know, that's from spirit, that's from research, that's from going through my own experience out there. Like yeah, it's yeah, you definitely and that should be against like that should be against our freedom to have so many CIA agents running around probing people, acting like regular people, and just fucking walking around like just to probe their own domestic citizens. Like, what type of shit is that? That's all LA is, a big fucking Skinner box. In fact, go look up Aldous Huxley, all my video I did on dystopia to get the idea of what I'm talking about. You know, like just fucking walking around running social engineering experiments on the masses. Like that shit for the bird. And that's where it's like I just know if I do go back to LA, you know, then I'm like closing like I'm gonna be, matter of fact, kind of like closed off, kind of like how I was in Baton Rouge to a certain extent. Like I ain't fuck around with the fuck arounds. I let the fuck arounds in my crib. It was like I had a sign by my door that was like, look, leave all the foolishness outside. You'll find out. I can't tell you this. And then just answering that question, Salama Adams, about what is the purpose of all this. You know, you'll find the purpose. You know, but it's just an experience. And I talk about this deeper. It's such a deep subject. I couldn't really go full to that area right now. Anyway, but I always speak on that a lot. You know, it's our purpose is It's what you feel your purpose is. But yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, Jimi Hendrix music. Matter of fact, with the Halloween energy, that veil still may be a little thin. The song Thriller with Michael Jackson and the Gooch by Duke Ellington. Those two songs I've got put on to by Bobby Hemmett. Matter of fact, blessings to the elder Bobby. But Hendrix, what it is, Machine Gun Funk, I think. I forgot. And also Miles Davis is somebody good to deal with too. With because again, and Jimi Hendrix and Miles Davis is two people that really could show you that motherfucker could talk through instruments. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, up there with that. Yeah, King, like the time dissolve, like it's just like extremely in the now, like and nothing else exists in essence. I ain't going back and forth with you, nigga. Oh, they cutting up at the parade. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have footage of that too. Yeah. Oh, moving to South America. Yeah, that sounds like a good little vibe out there. You know, King Yard, I'm not the one to speak on it heavily, but from what the brethren is chilling, you know, and he had a place where he done gave enough to us, which honestly he has. Like I still got Bobby Hemmett lectures I haven't watched yet. It's like, and honestly, people, we get it twisted. And I always bring this up, like, not to get caught up in that preacher mode or that preacher vibe, where like we, again, from the skillet to the frying pan, where like instead of being in church, we looking for that church vibe through the spiritual occult vibe, like looking for somebody to always be preaching type of vibe. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, I love the way the brethren, delivered the information and gave it out, but I do see that vibe. Like you don't want to enable and handicap, anybody's growth. And that's the realness to wanting to really help somebody, spiritually grow. It's like I tell anybody, like that's why sometimes I'm kind of like a Zen master in that way. The way I don't answer some questions, it's like like you got to get that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, but that's the whole thing. But yeah, San Diego, got the shit. LA for sure. Matter of fact, I'm in this book about Laurel Canyon and how Marilyn Monroe, they show Marilyn Monroe little her Department of Defense ID. I guess just shows Stanley Kubrick walking with NASA agents, like going to the Disney studio to film the moon landing. I done did a video on that already. Matter of fact, my Truman Show video, like the one that was like that was the longest video I did ever. That was like 3 hours. But that one, getting to the gist of our existence too, you know. And like I tell people, with the situation, like with alienation with the melanated people, stuff like that. I'm like, don't remember, it's for those who activating it. Some people may seem like they straight, European, and that's what we call European, but in some form or fashion, again, got some melanin from great grandpa, grandmother, something, and activating that motherfucker. You know, Melanin is a strong ass genie. The jinn, you know, Krishna, the black dot, Osiris, the black one. All this, no carbon. And as above, so below. It's like a genie within our body and a genie on this planet. That's why the government always try to get, whether it's Hispanic people, or what they call, and again, just let's just say melanated people, on to whatever scheme they got going. Because just like Pokemon, it's like the melanin is almost like some wishes. Your wish is my command. I just did a video about melanin is the genie. That's why when the motherfuckers go to smoking crack and doing all the other shit, which I did a video on that, but just go to doing harmful things, like it go all the way to the extreme, go way off, because again, the melanin like, all right, you want to be on this vibe, then shit, your wish is my command. And it's the reality of our bodysuits, Again, that new age movement stuff of like, I don't see color, this and that, but then the colors of your chakras and crystals, get the fuck out of here. That selective color. Selective seeing, you know what I'm saying? And you start to see the psychology, again, when you start to do your research and understand that they study everything that most people look up to on a occult level, is all people who good at knowing about shit on how to control society. Like from Plato's Republic down to Aldous Huxley and the Great New World. Carl Jung dealing with psychology, and Freud and Sigmund Freud, whatever, like all that shit. Almost all of them specialize in how to play with a motherfucker top. How to play with your brain, how to program your subconscious. It's no coincidence. Like, time to stop playing games. But y'all, I'm about to be out. No, I don't know about blood types. Starting to rain too. Ooh, wait, what you say about new mic? Phenakite is another great, since you ain't got no ground, then you might want to wear Tibetan Tektite, because you're gonna be floating on there if you're not walking around with a piece of hematite in your pocket. You don't want your high chakras overspinning, but then you're gonna be in the delusion of some, always in your past lives on some interdimensional stuff, instead of being in your body, present in the now. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's what when I saw his page, Dolo the pilot man, I'm like, bruh, because again, like, I see where he coming from, that same vibe of like coming down with the new energy, knowing that we are the gods, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause the concepts, like a few he brought up lately, I'm like, oh shit, that's some type of shit that I be running, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, like, definitely, that brethren. Bro, much love, and and you see, I'm different in that manner too. Like, it's much love to all them brethren. I vibe with, who I vibe with, but Like that's just naturally who I authentically, gravitate toward. I don't be fake about it. I don't try to watch any videos of something that I don't gravitate towards. And that's nothing to anybody, much love to any and all the brethren, making video, brethren and sisters making videos. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting rained on. Give me 1 second. Oh, live video, y'all. Apologies. But, yeah, matter of fact, the camera even caught a little drip. Hold on, y'all. Cause yeah, I'm about to go in a few anyway. But yeah. Tech tight. Yeah, Rogue, tech tight. You might add tech tight. As a matter of fact, since somebody bringing up Shungite as well. Yep. Black Obsidian, cool, but I get tired of the lesson learning. Black Obsidian be bringing you through the dark night of the soul damn near too much. And not fully, but like it always be bringing you through the rough little lessons you have to learn, you know. And with certain crystals, you have to catch yourself because you'll fall in the loop of dealing with it so much you just think that's a regular part of your growth. And it's like, nah, that crystal actually making you go through that shit all the time, you know. I might have to redo a video about, vibing with certain crystals in a combination. Oh yeah, the Shungite water. I did a video on the Shungite water and taking a Shungite bath. Matter of fact, doing the Shungite bath also with like bloodstone and ocean jasper. Man, that's good for like getting over any type of little, quote unquote disease of the body. But but just again to get back at that vibe, you right now you probably eating a lot and being all sleepy, you know. Don't trip out. Again, we some little beings that came down and little bodysuits we in and been going through a lot of different shit in this little realm, and also again, as much as stuff is being thrown at us, also realizing and remembering, but matter of fact, ye are gods, you know what I'm saying? Like our mind creates our physical. So again, when I bring up stuff about like certain, like government situations, that's to just have knowledge of it. It's not to harp on it and focus on it, because when you have knowledge of it, you know what's up and you know how to move and what's really going on, but it's not to fearmonger ourselves, about the situation. Which crystals am I wearing today? Man, I'm loving this I got an azurite, let's see. Azurite and Shungite little combo going on. Well, azurite malachite in essence. And Shungite. That's straight connection with like ancestral Akashic records. Got the Amazonite, matter of fact, and that's extremely protecting from electromagnetic pollution and stuff like that. Then I got the amethyst with the quartz. Man, I forgot the name of the store. I got sent that as a gift. That's what I'm working with right now. As a matter of fact, and I keep crystals. I got the root rakshas. I got a video on root rakshas. Don't forget about the root rakshas. The root rakshas seeds are the tears of Shiva. You know, and I got the lapis. You know, and I got the little tiger eye ring. You know, oh, and I got the my partner. Gave me one. It's like a I think it's like rainbow or golden obsidian, golden sheen obsidian. It's kind of what works for us on the grounding stone, but hematite may be a little more grounding, but shungite is a little more protective. I don't know, shungite might have more of a like a grounding vibe, but more on a metaphysical level. Like what I mean by that, like say for instance, like dealing with hematite, you could kind of really feel it. Like you holding it, you could really feel the iron and feel the metal of it, you know, in that sense, you know. But either one would suffice. Uh, I got a video on that just to bring it up, King C's, but you know, from research and knowing how to just deal with energy and just knowing, like, again, that's where all of us again can't compare each other in our growth, because like I always been extremely intuitive, like, you know, that, like, to the point where again the only a lot of the reason for my own knowledge, you know, as well, because I like researching stuff. But again, the book part is mostly for, you know, for people to see. All right, here, this is, you know, the paper trail of, in essence, where this information come from, you know. So when you go to doing your own research, you could go and see, you know. But like I'm very, you know, just very intuitive. And that's not to say I'm like some psychic guru or nothing either. You know, again, it's abilities we all got, but in certain areas, you know, I'm just I in certain areas our ego is just hard to bullshit our higher self in certain areas. In certain areas, we kind of be like, I don't know, is this my higher self? You know what I'm saying? It's a different stroke for different folks. Uh, Heart opening exercises. Love yourself and others. You know, and probably go check out the video I did on the heart chakra. All right. One more question about any type of symptom or anything you're feeling funny about right now going through this ascension. The first good one. Good. First one that I choose, the one that's getting answered. But let's see quickly. Zodiac signs and star constellations, you know. I did a video recently on the 12 the 12 movie specialists. But in this movie we playing in, they like the movie specialists who kind of like tweaked our little roles we playing. You know, it's something that to be aware of, but something we don't want to lock ourselves down into. You know, realizing that we are, beings again on this little human experience in this little matrix, and that star system in essence more has to do with this physical realm in essence more than of course as above so below, but what we dealing with, what we seeing in this little realm, is this world is not our home, just in short. Yeah, the spike in shamanic resonance, harmony, and a spike in, again, yeah, extrasensory perception, so telepathy, things of this nature, being sensitive to other people's energy. The like button, and please, if any donations, always remember, send them to my PayPal link, not through this super chat. The super chat basically all the little monies. I appreciate them for allowing me to speak on this platform and all that good stuff. But working with grounding stones and putting your feet barefooted in the ground, eating foods that like may have like like copper and metals in it, like so pistachios, sunflower seeds, or just nuts. Because I don't know, some people, you may be on the diet, so whatever, however your diet or whatever you shape your stuff around, but things that are a little more heavier, you know, things also colored the same color as your lower chakras, like red and orange and yellow foods, you know, because in most cases they red because they got iron in it. It's almost like a universal thing. But it's starting to rain a lot. But blessings, y'all. Wait, all right, yeah. Cool. Oh yeah. Blessings. I'm grateful for y'all. Matter of fact, my little book's getting wet and stuff. Matter of fact, ooh, I just found this one. Gotta show it before I go. And back across this, which I gotta get some translations because there's a lot of stuff written in Spanish. But yeah, they definitely. Let's see if I could. Ah, got a little bit of some stuff. By Magin Gonzalez. McGinn. All right, yeah, it's raining too much, y'all. Peace, blessings, happy now. Now's the vibrate. Oh, make sure I ain't got no. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now.